All right, thanks for tuning in once again. It's Ishmael Sistrunk with the St. Louis American and STLamerican.com. Here with our Rams Roundup columnist, Palmer Alexander III. Palmer, we played the Green Bay Packers this past week.
I heard about it.
Didn't necessarily turn out in our favor. Final score was 30-20. The Packers. What happened in that game?
You know, in the first half, the Rams did a great job of clock possession. You know, they kept Aaron Rodgers off the field. The big problem was they didn't get touchdowns. Sooner or later, they're going to have to get touchdowns. And, you know, I think that was the main thing that helped them back. Eventually, the defense was going to tire. They held as long as they could. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers is just one of the elite. He's a true elite quarterback in this league, and he would just continue to extend plays with his legs, making great adjustments at the line of scrimmage. We talked earlier before we came on camera about the Rams sending extra people after him, and I mean, he just kept making adjustments. He had the weapons to get the ball to certain guys. So a lot of things. Chris Long hurt him. Chris Long hurt the Rams. I mean, a lot of guys just, you know, Janoris Jenkins had a second straight just bad game. Chris Long jumping off sides. I mean, 2 times. I mean, the one time led to the free play, and Janoris Jenkins playing peekaboo. You know, he see the flag on. Well, I don't have to. And I mean, Jordy Nelson just scorched him. Just totally scorched him and abused him. They have to do better than that, and especially Chris Long, because you should not be jumping in neutral zone at home. You shouldn't. I mean, this is his 5th year in the league. He is a cornerstone of the defense. Those things shouldn't happen. Sam Bradford, sometimes I just wonder, is he just going to be an average NFL quarterback? We could talk about the makeshift offensive line all we want, but there were times when he had time to throw the ball. The one interception that he threw, I mean, it just should have never happened. I mean, Chris Givens got behind this guy, and he just flat underthrows the ball. And those things just shouldn't happen with the guy you draft #1 overall. You should be able to make those throws. There are just some throws I don't think Sam Bradford can make, and the natives are starting to get restless because they should have won against Green Bay.
I don't know if I agree with that. Should have won against Green Bay. Green Bay is one of the elite teams in the league. Now, we can argue whether or not they've been playing at an elite level as they have in the past couple of years. But I think we both acknowledge the Packers are the better team, no doubt. The Rams, I think the problem, you know, with them scoring, you know, that red zone is a big issue. You're right, they do have to get into the end zone, but I think the big thing that's holding them back is the lack of that #1 receiver. Bradford, yes, he can play better, but until he has a guy that can get open and make catches consistently, they're not gonna excel in the passing game. And Danny Amendola being out, you know, as the clutch guy to make all those clutch catches, him being out doesn't help situations. But with Bradford, you know, it's just like I don't think he has faith in those receivers.
And see, I'm glad you brought that up. Like Brandon Gibson on that 4th and 2 when they go for it. Brandon Gibson has been here just as long as Amendola. Gibson and Bradford does have rapport. The thing, Brandon Gibson would just drive you absolutely crazy. He does. And it just, that play, that quick slant on 4th and 2, he has to make that catch, and he doesn't make that catch. Just like the week prior in Miami, he bobbles the ball, okay? And then he makes this unbelievable one-handed catch falling backwards out of bounds. I mean, how in the hell does that stuff happen?
But that is Brandon Gibson being Brandon Gibson. That's like you got a Chevy Cavalier and you mad because it's not a Corvette. I mean, he's that guy. He's proven to be that guy where he'll make a great catch, he'll miss an easy catch. He'll make an easy catch, he'll miss a difficult catch. He's inconsistent, he's up and down. And I think that's the problem that Bradford is really having to get consistency with the offense.
Yeah.
You know, the running game has been picking up. We see Daryl Richardson, you know, is doing well. We see Steven Jackson has been running well, even though They haven't been getting a whole lot of carries each necessarily, but together the running attack is okay.
Yeah, I mean the run. Listen, I mean both guys are averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Steven Jackson touchdown. I mean he just imposed his will. He finally got a touchdown. I mean just totally imposing his will. Brian Schottenheimer. So, you know. What I've seen over the last couple of games, these are the things that made you iffy about him being an offensive coordinator. Okay, one of the things that we talk about a lot is talent. Okay, the Rams do lack some talent, but one thing they don't lack in is speed, and you can never have enough speed out there. Okay, you lose Amendola, you know, Isaiah P. should be on the field a little bit more. If you got Pete and Richardson out there, just for the simple fact of having Givens, I think that you allow yourself more opportunities to create some havoc out there on the field. I mean, Isaiah Pete is a guy that did play the slot receiver in college. He did catch a lot of screens. You got to be able to utilize what you have, and I don't think Schottenheimer's doing that. And the other thing is that, is there anybody, and I'm looking to you out there in television on YouTube land, does there anybody that has any common sense to know that when there's 10 yards, there's 10 yards to make a first down? You don't run 5 yards on third down to get a first down. And then you turn around on fourth down and you run a 3-yard crossing route. You can't do that. It's just like you cannot fall asleep at the wheel. And then that, again, Schottenheimer and Sherman, you got to be telling these guys, look, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't have to tell these guys should have common sense and a little bit more awareness. I need to get this amount of yards for first down. If you know you need 5 yards, you need to be running 7 to 8 yards drag routes. You know what I'm saying? Just common sense.
Right, but before you throw Schottenheimer under the bus, you talk about... I
ain't throw him on the bus, but I'm
you talk about Isaiah Pete. I mean, what has Pete really done? Like, what has he really shown to earn that playing time on the field? Well, we both think he's, you know, he has a future. You know, he looks like, you know, he can last in the league or he can stay around. But what has he really done to earn that playing time? Because if you're just looking at college tapes don't.
Well, you got to put him out there on the field. I mean, what do you have? You got Steve Smith. You got Steve Smith, Brandon Gibson, Chris Givens. What do you have to lose? You already going with a youth movement. You're not going to lose anything having them out there in the field. You're putting more speed out there.
You can lose games. You can lose your quarterback.
well, not if you have Ojanaka's gone. So that's one thing. That's one less thing you got to worry about. I mean, you're not going to. I just think that just putting Pete out there just for one play. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what do you have to lose? Just, 3 or 4 plays. Like having Brian Quick out there in garbage time. Listen, these young players, and since we know the Rams are trying to win, let's play them. Let's play them. You have nothing to lose. Chris Givens, they kept playing him. And he's starting to develop that rapport with Sam Bradford. But again, hell, can Sam Bradford hit him when he actually does get open?
Yeah, but I think the difference is that with the young receivers, like we saw Brian Quick get into some action, and it wasn't just in garbage time. And, you know, I think they're slowly building him up. With Givens, he's been getting playing time. They've been slowly building him up. With a guy like Pete, like I said, he really hasn't shown anything. And if we were in a rebuilding state to where Jeff Fisher was like, hey, I don't care. We could win 2 games, 3 games. I don't care. But Jeff Fisher is trying to win the division, or he's trying to get a wild card to get to the playoffs. Whether or not that happens is a different thing, but I don't think he wants to play players unless he thinks it's going to help them win.
Well, they're not winning now. They're not generating nothing now. What are they generating? Nothing.
But 3 and 4 is a far cry from where we've been in the past years. They, like I said, they're not necessarily a playoff contender or a Super Bowl contender, but this team has racked up some good wins, and they have an opportunity to continue to build. So I don't think you just throw guys out there for the sake of throwing guys out there. You have to make sure they're ready to play.
It doesn't hurt to give a guy like Pete an extra snap or 2. 1 play a game, that's not really doing anything. But I think that if you put him out there for give him another play or two. I mean, you get 65 plays a game. I think, running 2 or 3 plays for him won't kill him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into that charity life. I'm not into throwing darts at the board. Honestly, out of the two, I'd rather see Quick get more snaps than Pete fair. Because he really figures to be an important part of the future. I'm not saying Pete is not, but apparently he hasn't showed enough to be there. He's got 2 running backs ahead of him. We know Steven Jackson is likely gone after this season, so you do need to ready him. You do need to give him some snaps, but at the same time, you're trying to win football games. Chris
Givens, I mean, like I said, he's been carrying the tote, and he's looking very comfortable. I mean, look at the reverse that he ran. He got some great positive yards, and it's almost to the point that when he does have a big play, it's like you're like, man, I wish he got to the end zone because they just sure as hell is not going to score. Right. So I think I guess in so many ways, after watching the Rams in 7 straight games, and in the 4 games that they lost, and you're like, man, who knows what an extra play here or there made. And so when you get down to talking about a play or two, then everybody becomes fair game. Why not have this guy? And why not? And I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, why not?
Definitely. All right, and let's talk about the defense. How do you think the defense played overall?
The defense, let's start with the positives. They did do a sufficient job with the pass rush when they sent extra guys. I thought they did a good job pressuring Rodgers. When they decided not to and play bend don't break, it was really hurting them bad. Run defense, outstanding. I mean, I think the lead rusher had 20 rushes for 35 yards. So that was great. Everybody was filling the gaps. But they just couldn't make a play. I mean, Green Bay was 9 for 15 on 3rd down. You cannot have that. You have to get those guys off the field. You got to make a play. And I haven't talked about it, but, I mean, Craig Dow had a chance to make a play, and he didn't make it. And, I mean, it's just it's a shame, and that the very next play, here comes the Randall Cobb 3rd 9-yard touchdown backbreaker. Without really going so far as whipping my favorite whipping boy, I mean, he could very easily be leading this team in interceptions. Not just lead them in interceptions, but being one of the tops in the league. But the fact of the matter is, Ishmael, that he is just awful. he is just absolutely awful, and he just can't make a play. I think the day that he makes a play, I will go outside and see what is the color of the sky. Because you got to make that play. You have to make that play. And can somebody help me? Somebody help me, man. He has bum disease. We're going to have a bum telethon. We're going to have a bum telethon, man, and rid this infestation, though. But, I mean, honestly, though, all jokes aside, I mean, but they got to make those plays.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the defense definitely could have played better. Again, they were going against Aaron Rodgers. They were going against a high-octane offense. But Aaron Rodgers was 30 for 37 with 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's never a good day at the office when you're on defense. They gave up 30 points as well. But again, for me, I guess I wasn't as disappointed because that's pretty much what I expected. I didn't think we were going to go in there and shut down that offense. I really didn't think we had a chance. And the fact that we were in the game for a while, but the offense, that red zone offense, is really what hurt us. But let's go to the players of the game. Of course, we lost this one, but offensively, who do you think got the job done for the Rams?
I'm going to just say I'm going to give it to Derrick Richardson. I know he didn't get into the end zone, but he did some great things in his game, not only carrying the ball, but I think catching the ball. He showed that he can be able to hold onto the ball. He did a great job on 3rd down situation when he was out there when he had to pass protect, not getting blown up. I mean, Sam Bradford only had 1 sack, and that sack was pretty much on him. He had 3 catches for 43 yards, so he's starting to fine-tune his game and being a multi-purpose weapon for the Rams, because once he get that aspect of his game down, catching the ball, you're looking at somebody that can be that kind of ultimate threat like Chris Johnson is with the Tennessee Titans, and how Damian Thomason was, and even Marshall Faulk, and still Steven Jackson to a degree.
All right, what about on the defensive side of the ball?
On the defensive side of the ball, I'm searching. I'm searching, and I'm still looking for somebody. I think the one guy that shows up every week is James Laurinaitis. Every week he shows up, and you know I'm gonna definitely give it to him. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I would have loved to have given it to a Tremaine Johnson, who is a guy that's out there playing. You know, Bradley Fletcher, you know, he had some opportunities, but he really looked uncomfortable out there, and who knows, maybe his injury still bothering. So I'm gonna give it to James Laurinaitis this week.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good pick. He's always solid. I think he had 10, 12 tackles, something like that. As far as Ishmael's Intangibles Player of the Week, I'm gonna go with Michael Brockers this week.
Oh yes,
Brockers.
Yes.
You know, he's getting stronger. He was injured early in the season, but he got a sack in this game. He was in the backfield several times, and as we talked about, you know, I mean, Green Bay isn't a team that runs the ball a whole lot, but I mean, we kept in about 35 yards or so. But Brockers, time and time again, was in that backfield getting pressure from that defensive tackle spot. And that's something that's really, really going to be important as the Rams go forward to solidify that defensive line, who's really developing it. They haven't had the 9 sacks that they had a couple of weeks ago, but it's still a very formidable defensive line, and he's a key component to that.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
All right, so going forward, the St. Louis Rams are going to be facing the hated New England Patriots, and they're going to be over in Old England, overseas with this one. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh, the Rams are going to lose.
What? Hold on. Wait. Let's say that again, because I don't know if you're ever going to hear this again, St. Louis.
The New England Patriots will beat the Rams. They will beat the Rams. I mean, listen, I'm always confident about the home team, but at some point in time, you're like, okay, come on. Okay, because I can't will them the victory. You know what I'm saying? Right, I can't do it. I mean, I just can't. I mean, guys just can't make plays. As you saw earlier, I'm so damn desperate. I'm like, give Isaiah P some plays. So I mean, listen. I mean, Tom Brady is I mean, he orchestrated a high octane offense, and I know the Rams beat the Cardinals. And I know they beat Seattle. I know Seattle and the Cardinals beat New England. But we talking about the Rams, and the Rams just have problems inside the red zone. And I think, you know, Tom Brady is going to pick on Janoris Jenkins all game long. He's just going to do that. And Janoris Jenkins is just going to have to not say, well, it's fixable. No, don't say it's fixable. No, you need to fix it.
Yeah, and the cornerbacks in the secondary, you know, really are going to have to turn it around real quick if they're going to be competitive in this game, because, you know, coming right off the back of facing Aaron Rodgers, the premier quarterback, they got to face Tom Brady, a premier quarterback, and it's not going to get any easier. Brady likes to spread that ball around. He gives it to Danny Woodhead. He spreads it around amongst the receivers. So they're really going to be seeing a pass-happy offense, and you know, we'll see if they make any improvement. Oh,
listen, man, I think I'll make some improvement. As long as Craig Dowell is out there would never be an improvement. It won't be. I mean, it's just going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be bad.
Now, just because this is the first time that you picked against the Rams this season, they're going to pull off an upset.
Craig Dowell will have 3 interceptions.
You got to get Craig Dowell on the show. Get him down here, do a face-off with you. Y'all can arm wrestle.
He's dofful. He ain't off. He's dofful.
All right. So you think the Rams are going to lose? How do you think they'll perform offensively or defensively? I know, you know, we talked about the red zone struggles. Do you see any improvement on the offensive side at all?
That's why I can't pick them to win, because I don't trust them on offense. I don't trust them in the red zone. Chris Givens is averaging I think 20, almost over 25 yards now, almost a play. But none of those plays have gotten to the end zone. You just don't trust him. And Brian Schottenheimer has brain farts. He had these brain farts in the red zone. In the Seattle game, for example, they first and goal on the 7-yard line. 3 straight pass plays. I don't get that. I just don't get it, and that's why I can't pick the Rams, because to a degree they also handcuffed by Schottenheimer's bizarre play calling. Even in the Miami game, when they had an opportunity inside of the red zone, and you got your only one true guy that can do a jump ball, and Sam Bradford goes back to pass, and you making Austin Pettis your primary receiver. Remember, he had plenty of time to throw the ball. He didn't even bother looking to Brian Quick. And Brian Quick had one-on-one. They had this guy beat over top. So, can you trust Schottenheimer to be competent enough to call the right place and try to create mismatches in the red zone? I just don't think that he can do that. I just don't think he'd be able to do that, and I think that's why the Rams will come up short.
Yeah, the one area where I really have concern with Schottenheimer's play calling is in that red zone. Like we said, Steven Jackson finally got his first touchdown of the season this last week, but that was a little long run for Steven Jackson. It seems like when they get inside the 5 or inside the 7, Steven Jackson doesn't get the football. When you got a big bruising back like that, he needs to get touches to get over that goal line. So that's the one area where I've really had a lot of concern with the play calling. So it was nice to see SJ39 get in the end zone. Yeah. And hopefully that'll give him more opportunities down there.
Absolutely. And when you utilize Steven Jackson that close to the goal line, you know what that opens up? It always opens up that play action pass. It seems like no matter what. I mean, they've been doing this over the last 20, 30 years, Ishmael. I mean, you got your big bruised running back. You're going to pound it in there. You got everybody pretty much crept up on that line of scrimmage. And what do? You call that play action pass. You naked bootleg one way, throw it to the other side of the field. You got a guy wide open. It works. It's been working for over 30 plus years. Schottenheimer, use it. We're not asking. Well, I mean, I'm not asking too much. I mean, and then I stopped asking for Isaiah P to play.
All right, so if this was a presidential debate, that would be what you would be remembered for. Like, play Isaiah P, put him in the game, and everybody looks like.
And that'd be the new slogan. You got peed on.
And with that, we are going to get out of here. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Once again, I'm Ishmael Sistrunk with the St. Louis American and STLamerican.com. Here with Palmer Alexander III. Palmer, how can people reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Talk Sports with Controlled Chaos. You can also keep up with me in TMI. And this Sunday, I will be in studio with James Ingram on WGNU 920, talking Rams and talking politics.
All right, and as always, you can check me out on STLamerican.com, Twitter, Google+, wherever. If you see me, just holler at me. Peace.